Welcome to ZMP Podcast. I'm your host, Thomas Markham, founder of Zombie Media Publishing. And today I have a very special guest that is very prominent in the field of acting and directing. And we would like to welcome him to the show right now, Dominick Calvitto. Did I say your last name? Calvitto. I always mess that up, Dom. I'm sorry.
No, that's fine. It's understandable. It's okay.
Sometimes people mess my name up too.
Yeah, I mess it up too when I'm talking to somebody. So,
I guess most people probably just know you as Dom.
yeah, exactly. I mean, people call me Dominick, Dom. So as long as they don't call me late for dinner or coffee.
That's right. We don't want to miss that, do we?
No, not at all. Not at all.
Well, what people may not know is that Dominick was in a film that you've probably seen at some point in your life. Most people have seen or at least heard of The Toxic Avenger. Dominick, you had a little part in that. Tell us how you got involved with that project and how that all come about, and what you think about the Toxic Avenger.
Well, what happened was I was like 12 years old, and my mother was on the weekend. And my mother was going through the want ads of the Star Ledger when I lived in New Jersey. And she found an ad that was up to for acting or modeling. So my mother called up the agency, which was in Nutley, New Jersey, and gave them my name. And they set up an interview. So I went for the interview with my mother, and I did like a reading part out of a book or whatever. So, and then my mother and I were hanging out and, waiting for their decision on anything. They said, if anything comes up, we'll call you. So it looks like maybe Trauma Entertainment is looking for something for a part, but we're not sure. We got to get in touch with them or whatever. All right, so it all went good. So whatever. A couple months later, I ended up getting a phone call. Well, my mother did. I was out in the yard and in my pool, actually. And she's screaming for me to go in the house. I thought something was wrong. And then I rushed in the house, and everybody was like, oh, my God. Everybody, like my family and everybody was really excited that I'm going to be in a movie. So we had to go to Trauma and set up an interview with them, with Lloyd Kaufman. And we ended up hanging out with them for a little while, a few hours, getting to meet a lot of the cast that's in the movie, The Monster, which was Mitch Cohen. And make a long story short, I ended up getting in the movie. I met a lot of people, signed contracts, and they gave me the part of Skippy, which was the part where I got my head crushed. It was so amazing, man. Oh my God! But which that part actually blew up. Just that scene, because it was the first time there was ever a head crushing scene in a movie ever. And I was the part of it, and it's the most memorable and talked about scene in The Toxic Avenger. And years gone by, when I went to see the movie in movies in Montclair, New Jersey, they cut that scene out where the scene was me getting my head crushed. They just showed me getting ran over and hit, and then they cut it. Because of the MPAA, they had to cut it because it was too violent. The MPAA, for people that don't know, is the Motion Picture Association of America. They cut it out. But anyway, on the director's cut, they have it, people want to get it or whatever and get it and watch it. It's actually in the director's cut, which the director's cut of Toxic Avenger is crazy. So it's actually worth the purchase. And then I got involved. After that, I was years gone by. I forget how old I was. Maybe in my 30s or my 40s, I was introduced to a lot of people once I got on Facebook. And a lot of people hit me up and messaged me. I made a fan page for Skippy from the Toxic Avenger. Excuse me. And then they, I guess Troma noticed it on Facebook, and they called me up to do a 30th reunion for Toxic Avenger at the Garage Theater in Boone, New Jersey, with most of the Toxic Avenger. And I did that, and after that, it blew up. Other people were noticing me and everything on Facebook, and I got into another part of another film. I don't even know if it came out. I haven't seen anything about it, but I was in another film where I played a detective, which the movie was really awesome. I mean, I enjoyed myself. It was amazing. Then I got into Toxic People, which was a spoof of Toxic Avenger. I played a role in there of myself. Then big documentary I was in, my friend Nick Charles, which was actually in my movie, in Running Away from the Unknown, that I produced, directed, and created, along with my partner, Eugene Johnson. But we did that, I was in Running Away from the Unknown, as you know. It's a movie about actually my alcoholism, which was, they almost died from. And that movie's actually released from Zamba Media Publishing, thank God. Tom Markham, the owner, and he is our distributor of the movie. So it's you can choose it up. I find it up on Amazon, and you can rent it, you can purchase it, and there's also T-shirts you can purchase. Just look it up. And I haven't been in a movie since Running Away from the Unknown, so I don't know what happened. But
well, what gave you what led to the idea of making Running Away from the Unknown?
Well, what happened was, Tom, after I quit drinking, and I was, going through a depression, because obviously I had no outlet at that point. And, I started writing in a journal, and just started to write, and not even thinking at any point that I was going to make a movie. It wasn't even on the tip of my tongue. I just kept writing and getting all my frustrations out from all the past years of drinking and everything. So what happened was, I started to read it after a while, and I got in touch with somebody, I think Eugene or Amy or my old agent, and I got the idea of just making a YouTube video, something small, maybe like a 10-minute video or something like that, just pertaining to alcoholism and how bad it could be. And I asked Eugene and Tammy, and they said, sure, let's do it. They were gung-ho immediately. So I sent them what I wrote, like the script. Well, it wasn't a script, because it wasn't even a movie yet, but it was just something, just to get our, just so we would know what we're able to do, what we have to do, and all that stuff. So they said, okay, boom, let's make a date, let's do this. So where I used to live in Nutley, New Jersey, I actually, I wanted to do everything right. So what I did was I called up the town, I asked them, I was talking about like permits and how do I do it, and just the common ground of what you would do if you're going to film any type of movie. And this was just a video, but I wanted to make sure everything was right, because I didn't want to have to nobody knowing about it and thinking something's happening, bad in the park, and then the cops are all over the place. So I wanted to make sure the town and police department knew about it. So I couldn't they wouldn't let me do it without purchasing a permit and getting police protection. So they thought it was a big production. I told them it was just something small. I said, it's not even like 4 or 5 people, that's it. But anyway, make a long story short, again, the movie was done in various states New Jersey and Virginia, and it became that everybody wanted to be in the movie. And I had a lot of good people from The Walking Dead that were in the film. Myself, that was in Toxic Avenger. And, it was really a movie where it wasn't really like, to me, it wasn't a movie. To me, it was like more of a documentary, sort of, that was just showing people that drink like young people, teenagers thinking it's cool, and, they go out and they drink and they, go into summer break and everything, but they don't know the complications of what you're going to live through if you actually abuse alcohol. So that's actually what it was. And I made a little documentary. It was a half hour long, but the thing is, it came out excellent. There was a lot of things that I did and in the movie that a lot of parts of I was like, I don't know if I want to put this in the film because it doesn't fit the storyline. But I was like, all right, the hell with it. I spoke to various people about it, and leave it in there because it'll kind of shorten the movie. So that was kind of like something. Once I started to learn a little bit of in and outs, Tom, I actually put my best foot forward to try to make this movie really, really believable and real. So the movie came out pretty decent, I think. Had a great people in it. They helped me out to the end. What the hardest part of the movie was doing them, reliving the pain again and remembering what I went through. And, that's actually, I think, what made the movie a little more strong and, believable because of the fact that it was real. It wasn't like, oh, let's just go make a 30 half-hour movie just about something that's about drinking. But, we don't want to really put our feelings into it. It's just, it was actually, it came out. To me, when I watch it, from beginning to end, I get the feeling that, this is the reason I quit drinking. And it actually hits me hard because I remember my parents, and I remember going through everything that they, the scene in the movie where I was in the cemetery. That was the hardest scene I think I had to film because it was real. And the pain was real. And, me crying and everything was real. The hardest part of that scene was when I was really crying and really carrying on. And then the unknown came up and grabbed me on the shoulder. And I had to actually stop crying instantaneously. As soon as I heard him walking up, I had to get to the mode where I knew he was going to put his hand on my shoulder, obviously. And I just immediately had to stop crying. And that was real. And I turned around and looked at him. I don't want to give too many scenes, away from those that haven't seen it, your listeners. But that was the hardest part, and it was 1,000% authentic.
Well, what people may not understand is that you actually live this, and this is a film about addiction, and it really overall has a positive message. And also, for those that may not know, Eugene Johnson played the character Unknown, the Unknown, in the film,
right.
And he done a good job. And there was a lot of other recognizable names in the film.
Yes.
A few of them I know, like Santiago, I got to meet him. Amber, I got to meet her. We was at some events together. Great people, both of them. I like them both very well. And Jeremy Amber, I think that's his last name. I've met him before too. Been in events with him. He's a nice guy. So you had some really, really good people in this film that's recognizable and has been on a lot of TV shows and films. And overall, the film has a very positive message, I think.
Yes. It's actually, You know, for the way I look at it, Tom, is when you're coming out of when I went through in my life, and you make a film about it. You know, it's not the easiest task to do. I mean, you come out of drinking and being in that position in a dark place for years. And then you start writing, not even thinking that you're going to get anywhere with it. And then you release it on YouTube, and you get negative comments back. And, I mean, that was the hardest part. And it really, destroyed the integrity of the film and the integrity of the actors that were in the film, and who was dedicated to my mother and my father. I mean, that's right at the beginning of the movie. If you're going to watch the movie and then you're going to comment in a way that you're just really making people think that the movie's no good, that's watching it because of reading comments, I mean, you have no right to even watch the movie. You have no right or no authority to watch the movie and comment. I was going to check the movie. I was going to delete it from YouTube. I spoke to Eugene about it, and we spoke about it for days on end. I mean, we would talk for hours, and I was like, this is really hurting me. I don't know if I should keep this up. So what I did was I released my movie 24 hours on Facebook. I think you might have seen it back a couple of years ago, and. So I released it for 24 hours just so I can get some kind of input, get people to really recognize and understand what the movie is about more than the way it was produced. And the movie came out, and I was getting, people weren't down. They weren't like my people. They weren't anywhere near, making it look bad. You know what I'm saying? They were all right. Well, maybe the music was a little bit too loud, which constructive criticism, perfect. But then I was like, all right, you know what, Eugene, I think I'll keep it on. I don't want to take it down, because then I'm thinking, what's the sense of having it? Because then we got to go through uploading it again, which takes hours because YouTube takes forever. And it's a big file, so it's going to take hours to upload. So, with that aside, the bottom line is the movie Running Away from the Unknown is actually really a movie to watch, and sit and understand it.
Correct.
Put yourself in my shoes, which the movie was actually based on that. If somebody could put themselves in my shoes and understand what the movie's about and really understand it and sit there and watch it.
I'll agree with you. If anybody's ever had an addiction or had friends or family that's had any kind of addiction, watching this film, it might be difficult for them because of the pain that's involved in addiction. But if you'll stay with it, there's a good outcome. And,
right.
And it should give people, say, hey, you can be messed up, you can have a lot of problems, but you can also change that and become a positive individual and have positive things happen in your life.
Yes, exactly. I'm sober 8.5 years. This August 3rd will be 9 years I quit drinking.
August the 3rd, that is that's my wedding anniversary, believe it or not.
Awesome. See, we've got something common. We've got a lot of common.
Be 30 years. 30 years, if I'm not mistaken. And so if I'm mistaken, my wife will probably beat me in the head.
Yeah. I don't want to cause any problems.
And another thing, Dom, I think sometimes we get criticism on our film, but you think about it this way: that you take a Hollywood produced movie that they've spent literally millions of dollars to make, it also gets criticism.
Oh yeah, Everything does.
And being a critic is the easiest thing you can be because you don't have anything invested in it. You can just rip on somebody else's work and you have no repercussions or anything like that. And people don't realize making a film is difficult.
Oh, man. The hardest part of that movie to film was the film itself, obviously. Now, the hardest part, I could say, is getting people there on time, getting them to understand what the movie is and put themselves in a frame of mind where the way you're acting in a movie is going to be the way it was for me with other people. You can't just go in there with, oh yeah, okay, I'm just going to run around and, but the hardest part was reliving everything, getting everything correct. The hardest part, obviously, was getting me to remember everything on cue. I mean, everything, fighting, drinking in the bar, fighting in the bar, my parents died and reliving that situation in the cemetery, having the right sound, having lighting, making sure that where we're filming, there's not going to be people walking in front of the camera. Are we okay here? Is this guy ready? Are you ready? You're paying attention. What about extra noise? You're going to be able to hear, I mean, you've got a punch list that people don't even realize.
That's right.
That before you even call action.
Yeah. Now, I don't want to give a whole lot of the film away, but the hospital scene, to me, that was a very powerful scene. It was very well acted all the way by everyone involved, and I thought that was one of the real powerful scenes in the film.
Yes, that film. I mean, that scene we filmed in my old work. My landlord owns that building, and he, let me film in his building and everything. And we did. We had a lot of space and we had time. We had more than enough time. So that scene right there, like in the hospital, was a respite area. And Eugene, I got to credit Eugene Johnson. He wrote the conclusion of that movie. And that scene was all written by him. And we figured it'd be good because you have to show some kind of like reality to where you're really in trouble. Because actually, I did end up in the hospital. I almost died in 2012. So I had to show some kind of reality towards that. You can't just explain it. You got to have people to be able to see and understand what more of your life was like instead of just doing something small and you don't really get the full picture.
Well, oftentimes that's where addiction ends up. You end up in a bad situation. If you've got any kind of addiction, usually you end up in a bad spot.
Right. So I had to have my gallbladder removed from drinking back in 2012 in August. I have continuing, excuse me, I still have continuing problems every day and night from drinking, and it's almost 9 years. Health issues. So, drinking at this point, people that abuse drinking, they think it's okay. They make a joke about it. They think that, it's not going to hurt me. It's not going to harm me. Hey, you know what? If you can control it and if that's how you feel, hey, you know what? More power to you. But one day, what's going to happen is you're not going to be able to breathe. You're not going to be able to eat. You're not going to be able to do anything. You're going to end up in the hospital. That's what's going to happen. And if you leave the hospital, you're a lucky guy or girl.
Yeah.
They can't operate on your liver. And once that goes, I'm sorry to tell you, but
Yeah. The result is not good, is it?
No, it really isn't, man. Tom, I was frightened to death. I didn't know what was happening to me. I thought I was going to have a heart attack. I called the ambulance. I got rushed to the hospital. I was in the hospital for a week. Um, you know, the pain was excruciating. It was the worst pain I ever felt in my life. Um, and it was all contributed from drinking and abusing alcohol. And, you know, that's what the bottom line is. That's what made me want to make this um, documentary, we'll say, about drinking, because it is something that you can't play around with. Um, if you can go and have a couple drinks and go home and it doesn't bother you, or you don't get dragged in from the demons that you need another drink and you need another one, and it's just so much more that you need in your system because you're trying to hide something. Um, you can't really take that anywhere because it's going to kill you. Everybody's different. Alcohol hits everybody different.
Yeah.
I'm a light. I drank a 6-pack. I'd be plastic because I'm a thin guy. I'm not big. I wasn't a lot of weight, so I ended up I would drink all day in a bar, go home with a 6-pack, finish that, and do the same thing the next day. And that was going on for years. And, I ended up doing something that I didn't ever think I was going to do. I just kept drinking and turned into an alcoholic. I've had bad tendencies, and, that's all from drinking. And depression. Depression leads to drinking. Depression leads to a lot of bad shit.
It sure does.
You got to be strong enough to get rid of it.
Well, you have really turned it around. From I've never had to drink alcohol in my life, but growing up, I seen some bad effects from it, so it kind of turned me against it from an early age. So I've never drunk alcohol. I've never never done anything like that. But I've seen people who struggle with that addiction and other addictions, and a lot of times their story does not end up like yours. They don't turn it around. They don't make change their life to a positive. I've seen some people do it, but a lot of times that's not how it works. And so I'm happy and I'm proud that you have turned your life around, and you've got a direction now in filmmaking and acting that is the sky's the limit for you. And with saying that, won't you tell us just a little bit about what you've got coming in the future?
Well, at this point, unfortunately with this pandemic, it's really hard to really do anything. But I have, a few years ago, like 3.5 years ago, I started, I got an idea to start another movie, to start writing another script. So The Five of Us is the name of the movie. I'm on a hiatus right now, I guess you would call it, because, I can't do it. Plus the winter, you can't. So I've got everything's against me. But I'm hoping and I'm praying in the spring that we can start filming that. Again, I got my radio show up again. So I'm going to start doing that, the Fan Voice Radio Show on blogtalkradio.com. And I also have a group on Facebook, the Fan Voice and the Fan Voice Radio Show, and a fan page. Check that out, or hit me up on Facebook. I'm looking to make more movies and stick to that for the rest of my life, because it's something that it's an art, and you've got to be true to yourself. If you're going to be in it to try to make $1 million, you're not going to do it unless you're a professional and you own like MGM or one of them big studios in California. But if you're independent, like I am, and you do it independent cinema, you're going to actually, you're just going to keep doing it to reveal your art, movie creation, and what's in your heart and what's in your mind. And if the movie comes true, if the movie's true, like Running Away from the Unknown, that's awesome, because people will understand it's an educational documentary. Everything else is going to be fiction in this next movie. There's nothing true about that. I I don't want to even reveal what that movie's about because it's not even nowhere to be even started yet. So, but that's about it. I want to, we're going to be doing Tom and I is going to be doing some stuff for Running Away from the Unknown this year. We're going to be doing a lot of publicity, and we're going to be broadcasting it all over Facebook and everything. So if anybody wants to check it out, check out Zombie Media Publishing. He's our distributor, and got a lot of good movies on his website. And I might be opening up a website for Running Away from the Unknown through B12. I'm thinking about that. We can have a website, and I can, throw stuff up on there about the movies, keep everybody up, kind of like, give them some stuff like once the 5 of us get started, I could use that website to be broadcasting, posting and putting stuff under the hat until we get stuff going. And then the website, people can follow us there on Facebook. I want to continue it because, you never know. I mean, we do have a business, Eugene Johnson and myself, the 5 of us Productions, that we're going to be using that as our business name for our, we're making movies because me and Eugene are going to continue to do it. He wants to actually make more movies, so that's good. And we could use Tommy as our distributing company, from now till whenever. That's probably pretty much. I mean, under the circumstances, I'm just hoping that, everybody gets to the point where, they understand the logic behind the movie. They understand that it's not no joke. I mean, continue to think it is what it is, and kind of.
Well, Dom, you talked about the pandemic. The pandemic has really hurt filmmaking for the last year. It's been very difficult even for me. And talking about filmmaking, what I've noticed, and you'll notice it too as you continue forth, with each film, you learn a little more and you get a little better at what you're doing. I've done, I don't know, probably close to 20 films or so now. And every time I learn a little something a little different, a little better, how to do things a little better. And you just got to keep doing it. I try to tell people who are new into creating films or even writing books or whatever, just put the work out, learn from it, and do better on the next one. That's all you can do.
Yes, I did learn a lot from being a Toxic Avenger when I was young, how to set everything up, where you want people to stand, which is the best scene spot where you have the best lighting. You're not too far away from sound. You're good because where you're standing is you've got the whole scene behind you, the backdrop. Where to set up the cameras, how to adjust the levels of the sound when it's going to be recorded. When I was in Toxic Avenger, I was young. I was only 12, 13 years old, and I didn't really know a lot. But once you're, I was in other movies, obviously, that everybody knows about. So I kind of got more, once you're in, like you just said, Tom, you're in more movies, you're understanding more about how it's made, and you really pay attention. I was in Family Property 2, More Blood. That's the movie I was the detective. And I understood how things were. All right, we're going to take the shot from across the street, but you're going to be walking in the street or whatever, or you're going to be getting out of a car. We're going to come up and film you in the car. And you got to make sure you don't look at the camera. You got to look at your, the person you're with. There's always, and that's one thing I noticed in Running Away from the Unknown. A couple people were looking at the camera. That's a no-no. That's totally forbidden. You can't do that.
That's right.
if you're in a film and and the guy behind the cameraman sees you look at the camera, you got to call cut instantaneous, because then it looks like a fake. It doesn't. It actually ruins the authenticity of the scene. It's like, oh, okay, it's like you're making a film with your cell phone.
Yeah.
Or just a bit. You don't see people and the professional actors doing that. The cameras, you've got to act like the camera's not even there. Like you're just living your natural life, your normal life. You're going through just your daily routine, but it's that you're following a script. You know, the script doesn't say, okay, look at the camera. I mean, it's not something you have to do. I tell people, the cameraman is your enemy. Cannot look at the camera. You just got to just do what you got to do in the script, and that's it. And you're done. Cut. We're done.
And and that gets a little bit easier as the more films you do, and you're in front of the camera. It takes a little bit of time to get comfortable in front of the camera and learn not to look at it. You know, I've shot some scenes before with people, they want to look directly at the camera right at the tense moment of the film, you know, or the scene.
Right.
They want to look right at the camera. I said, no, don't do that. Don't look at the camera.
No, man. It's like, I understand. You know, for somebody that never acted before, they're nervous and figure, you know, maybe that's something they want to do.
Well, I still get nervous. I'm more comfortable behind the camera than I am in front of it. But you know, it's I'm kind of a shy person by nature, so it makes it a little bit more difficult for me.
Oh, listen. I froze up and forgot my lines or what I had to do. Filming the running away from the unknown, and you freeze once you hear action. You're like, you know, because you don't. It's like you get stage fright, even though you're in front of people that are in the movie. But you still get scared because you know the movie's going to be out, and it's going to be there's going to be a million people watching. So it gets kind of like to that point. But I think once, like you said, once you start making other movies and you get to the point where you're comfortable, you just do your lines, you act, you do what you got to do, and you walk away. You're done. And the hard part is remembering the lines if you're nervous, and then messing the lines up while you're filming, because then you got to friggin' cut. Then you got to redo it.
Let's do it again. Yeah, I've been there too. Let's shoot that scene again. Dom messed his lines up, right?
I did it. I did it in Family Property 2. I was with my co-star, and we were outside. I think it was in Ohio or Virginia. I think it was Dayton, Ohio. We filmed that, and I was I was ready to do my lines, and I heard action, and I froze up, and I was looking at my co-star, Adam, and I'm looking at him. He's got a smile on his face, and I was smiling, and I was like, I just busted out laughing. I said, I can't even. But it was funny because we did such a great job anyway, and plus we drove. We had to drive to Dayton, Ohio from New Jersey. I forget, it took us like 12 hours if I remember right. Yeah, it was crazy. But it was once I jumped up and down, it was like, all right, let's go, I'm ready. You know, I got all the laughter out. I was like, right, I'm focused. Let's go. Blocked out everything. I just blocked out what I had to do. I remember what I had to do, what my lines were, and it was it. And it came out perfect. And everybody was like, holy shit, you know? Because they know me as Skippy from the Toxic Avenger. A lot of people in Dayton, Ohio, from all the conventions I was at, and for being representing Toxic Avenger, they were like amazed that I was in the movie, and it was really cool too. Because the movie itself the idea of it was pretty cool, but I don't know if the movie ever came out.
I'm not for sure neither. I'll have to try to look that up and find out. Another thing with this COVID, we've not had a chance to do really any conventions much, which kind of knocked them in the head too.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons I started 20th Century Autographing, because that was what's it called? It was like a virtual convention, and people were buying our people were buying our clients' stuff, and it was going good, and then it just died out. I don't know what happened.
Huh.
And I think the pandemic, so I kind of don't do it anymore. I mean, I tried to shut it down. I still have an LLC. I mean, I could still use it as something.
Well,
you know what I'm saying? Because it's so active.
Well, maybe this pandemic will kind of, go down a little bit, and you can get back to it.
Right. I wanted to not lose it, because it was like, I had things going good with it, but now it's like, what do you do?
Well, Dom, I think I'll try to maybe wrap up the show today. I really appreciate you coming on, taking a little time with us and telling us about your acting career and the movies you're directing and things that's coming up.
Sure.
And if for people who do not know, you can watch Running Away from the Unknown on Amazon. It's also available on DVD, and there's some merchandise like T-shirts that you can find on Amazon as well. And it's really an interesting film that you could probably enjoy. I think that it could hit home for a lot of people, it would touch a lot of people that know someone who is addicted.
Right.
And like I say, there's some nice people that names in there that you'll recognize. And so if you get a chance, get on Amazon and check out Running Away from the Unknown. Dom, I sure do appreciate you coming on today, and I will be back in touch with you soon. One last time, tell us where we can find you at on social media.
Dominick Calvitto is my name. You can catch me there on YouTube, on Facebook. And you can also check out Running Away from the Unknown, like Tom said, on Amazon, and the five of us. You can check out our group on Facebook, the Five of Us Productions, where I post a lot of stuff pertaining to the Running Away from the Unknown. And you can hit me up on Instagram. I think it's Dom Calvitto. I'll let you know. But yeah, that's about it. You can hit me up on Facebook if you want, at Dominick Calvitto. If you want to be on a radio show or the Italian Voice radio show, I have also. Check that out. I'm going to start probably this week, going back on the air and setting the schedule.
Okay.
Sponsors. So if anybody wants to sponsor the Italian Voice, we can talk about that. And I'll talk to you guys again. And Tom, thank you for the opportunity, man. It's such a great morning, first thing in the morning. It's great.
Glad to have you on, Dom, and I will also include links to the film, and if you'll send me a link to the Italian Voice radio show, I'll also include a link in the description, and that way people can get over there and check you out.
All right, what I'll do is I'll send you the link for just the page link from Block Talk Radio. What I could do is I'll send you the link for what's it called, for all the episodes.
Okay, sure.
And then you can do whatever you want with that. Let's see, episodes here. All right, yeah, I'll inbox you this thing here.
Sure, yeah, send them over, and I'll put them in the description, and we'll get people over and let them check out some of your shows.
All right, beautiful. I'll talk to you, and thank you again, Tom, for the opportunity. It's such a great feeling to actually, have the movie out, thanks to you and Zombie Media Publishing. And I hope that everybody around the world gets to see it and gets the understanding about the movie itself. And as I said, we really greatly appreciate the opportunity to talk to you.
All right, Dom, you have a great day, and it was our pleasure to distribute the film. And we hope that people enjoy it and they go online and support it and support you and support us. We're independent guys. We have to work together, and we depend on our fans and our supporters and our followers to make us successful.
Right, exactly. And we're going to get there.
Yes, we're going to keep working, Dom. We're going to keep working.
Right. The only way to get there, buddy.
All right, brother. Enjoy your day and go get you some coffee. I know you love that coffee.
Yeah, I have to get ready to go out. So, yeah, I'm going to get a cup from Duncan and get my day going here.
All right, Dom. I appreciate it, brother.
Hey, thank you. I appreciate it myself. And we will talk again. Have a great day, buddy. Stay safe.
Thank you.
All right, Tom. You're welcome. Thank you.
For Zombie Media Publishing, I am Thomas Markham, and that was our guest, Dominick Calvitto. Hope you enjoyed the show. Please like and subscribe to our channel.